Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you first of all for tuning in. And I have to warn you, if this eye is crying. Can an eye cry? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's in inflammation a little bit, so don't worry. I'm not being sad at all. So let's get started with this video. I wanted to make a video because it came up in my in the classes that I do here with some students, and I thought, yeah, if people do find a lot of insight because of this, I'm going to talk about it. And so I'm going to talk about the drama triangle. And the drama, look, I'm talking about drama and I'm already crying. Talking about a drama queen, huh? Now, this video is about the drama triangle and it's from Karpman. I hope I pronounce it well. It's K-A-R-P-M-A-N. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and I think it's all in the context of Mars and Saturn being together in Sagittarius, and Mars going at the end of this month. So I'm recording it today on is it the 16th? I think it is. So Mars is approaching Scorpio again. And so what is this all about? Well, when Mars is retrograde, and certainly in the signs of the truth, which are Sagittarius and Scorpio, Mars is about our doing, our intentions, our drive. It's what is our intention when we act and when we want to go forwards? What is the intention there? And when Mars is in Sagittarius and in Scorpio, it's a lot about we do because we are inspired. That's Mars and Sagittarius. We do because we feel like we have a fire in us and that we want to go for it. And in Scorpio, it wants to be as authentic as it can. So without the negative side, you could say, of Scorpio is doing and manipulating, and but the positive side is being very true, very not getting into that, in those manipulative hidden actions, you could say. So it's a great time to investigate our motives. It's a great time from now up until actually August of 2016 to investigate our actions and what our motives are, depending on the houses it is in. So I thought this is a good video to make because a lot of people are forced, or some of them are not forced, of course, they are seeing this. They are seeing where their intention, the blind spots. That was I did French last evening, and I did a French video, and it's hard to speak English after having spoken a lot of French. Now, anyway, so let's talk about this drama triangle. Now, first of all, before I start talking about this is about roles and about games that we play. I'm not going to say we all play them, but maybe in some parts of our lives we did play roles. And these are not the beautiful roles. These are roles that we play consciously or unconsciously. And I use this little triangle a lot with clients if they are in the midst of drama and not really aware of it. Then I tend to use this little triangle that I've known it for a long time. I think it was, anyway, it doesn't matter. But so what is this all about? First of all, this drama triangle is about three roles, and it's about the victim role. It's about the persecutor role, and it's about the rescuer role. Now, before I even start to explain this, I'm not talking about the real being a real victim here. No, I'm not talking about someone is going to shop somewhere, and all of a sudden there's someone who attacks you and who wants your money. No, that's being a real victim there. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about consciously or unconsciously taking the drama role of playing the victim, or being aware of it or not, you're playing the victim and you're dwelling into that role. I'm talking about that situation. Then the other one is the persecutor. The persecutor is the one. So what is the victim? The victim is the role that a lot of people play, it's very important to know that this drama triangle can switch roles, even in minutes. So you can go from the victim to another role in a minute, in a discussion with a loved one, for instance. So, but the victim role is definitely, you feel very powerless, you have no power at all, you feel less than someone else, you feel that you have no power at all, so you cannot act, you're taking not responsibility at all, you're sitting in your situation there, and you're actually not actively asking for help. So for instance, so all these three roles, by the way, are negative, toxic energies, are hidden ways. So again, we're talking about Mars here, about the planet Mars, the planet of action, and how we act is the negative sides here that I want to describe of Mars. So when you play the victim, I can play the victim, for instance, with my loved one, and I can say, let's say we bought a new bookshelf, or how do you call that, a book closet or something like that. It has to be put in together. Instead of me asking my boyfriend, could you please put it together? I want you to do it, or can you please do it? Instead of asking that directly, I could say, it would be nice, wouldn't it, if these books were all in this beautiful new closet. My vocabulaire n'est pas très bien today, but if we can put all these books in the closet, it would be nice, wouldn't it? It would be beautiful to have that here. And then my boyfriend could jump into the role of a rescuer who would say, of course, I'm going to do it, you know. That's not my reality. But anyways, he sees through that straight away, by the way, from the beginning. But so that's, you can play that victim. That's a very, very, I don't know, because I'm looking at the bookshelves here. That's why I had that idea. But you know, you get my drift here by a lot of examples. And a man can play this victim role, and a woman can play this victim role. There's no gender role here. But it's like someone is constantly saying, I'm just, you know, pitying themselves. That's the victim role. Then, but actually, it's a role where you have no power. It's a role where you feel don't have power at all. So the other one was the rescuer here. And the rescuer, again, can be a man or a woman, and it's typically someone who feels better, who feels, I can do this, you cannot do this. So the rescuer is there, you know, that kind of people who are always, when you are somewhere at a reception of someone, and who's always helping out, and who's always, you know, who have that identity of helping all of the time. Helping is good, helping is fantastic. Again, by the way, when I talk about the victim, that's not a positive role here, but underneath it, that's something very positive, which is vulnerability. I'll talk about that in a minute. So the other role is the rescuer. Helping someone is great, it's fantastic. It's when someone really needs the help, and when they ask for help and they want the help. And of course, it's fantastic to be able to help someone. But with rescuing, I mean that someone is helping you without even asking, or is saying to you, you need that kind of help. You can indirectly saying to you that you cannot do something. So the rescuer is, for instance, you know, if you are not able to do something, let's say, you are in the midst of a move. This is a story that I heard from a friend of mine recently. And she had a friend who's very much the victim role and who really doesn't want to get out of that victim role, actually, because, then they have to think and they have to get the grip on their life. And she is really the rescuer type, and she knows it, by the way, she knows it. And so what she does is, you've got to move, I'm going to help you out and all of that. And she didn't do anything about preparing the move, but okay, it's emotional and whatever, I'll helping her out. And so without that victim asking for it directly, she kept on helping her with all these practical things. And we go to IKEA and buy a closet and put it together again, and we'll do it all for you. It's like taking someone's power tremendously away, because, and of course these two, they click, don't they? So so they're taking their power away because they can do this alone, or helping them out a little bit. They don't have to put every work out of their hands. So the rescuer is someone who really does that. And of course, all these three roles, ultimately they end up in the victim role. So the rescuer, when they know all of a sudden and become conscious of the fact, hey, so all of a sudden he or she is a bit tired of the role of rescuer, then the victim can do very needy, I need you, and the rescuer wants to be needed, and they have an S of Superman or Superwoman on their shirt, and they're there to rescue. So that's also, and my friend who did that said, I said, when did the turn come? And she said, yes, when I saw that I was a victim now, that she called me and said, yeah, can you come over to fix this and that, just without... I'm really so she was actually taking advantage of the illness that she had, and she saw it very clearly there, and she said, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. But of course the rescuer enabled that, because it's always a two, it always takes two to tango, doesn't it? So that's the rescuer. So the rescuer is actually also not in a powerful position. And also in companies, when I worked in a big corporation, I saw a lot of that, the rescuer, and they are seen as someone, they always rescue, but actually between colleagues, they, so when one plays that role of the rescuer, it's very hard to stand up for yourself and to say, no, I don't need the help here. Because they also have hidden motives. They want you to be needy because they need you to feel better about themselves as well. Again, I'm not talking here about someone who likes to help. There's nothing wrong with that. Thank God that we have people like that. But it's about going over the top. It's about stop being a hero here, or a heroine. So it's about that. You can see it a lot. The reason why I bring this up, this triangle, is because I recently was in one without, and you would think that you would know, but it was, of course, it happens a lot with astrology client as well, and it is rare, I must say. It was, I think, it really is very rare, but it did happen, and I already saw it in the email, that I had to be cautious, because it was not just an email with, look, here is the question, can you help me? No, it was like pages and pages. That's a sign of the victim wanting to dwell into that situation and actually doesn't want any help, but just wants to stay in there. And I was in it. I was so in it, it was a consultation at home with me, and it was not easy, but anyway. Of course, both of the parties, you could say, don't feel good, because the rescuer doesn't feel good because he or she cannot help, and the victim doesn't feel good because the problem is solved they want the quick fixes. They want to, and of course, between an astrologer and a client, it's really, you have to be really aware of this, because again, I don't seem to attract a lot of people like that, who are very, very needy and actually not wanting to do the work, because luckily I do attract people who really want to work on themselves and just they want a bit of insight. and that's how I can help. But you see, we all get into these roles every now and then, and it's good to be aware of it, because if you are aware of it, then you can say, I'm not playing here anymore, and you step out of it, and then you have your power back, or your strength. So, and last but not least is the persecutor. So the persecutor also needs a bit of a victim, you could say, or it could be on a very general. The persecutor is an energy of, it's a very dominant personality when you are in the role of a persecutor. So a victim, by the way, can, when he or she is arguing with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, they can switch roles from victim to persecutor. Like for instance, let's say that you play the victim here, and drama. You play the victim, and all of a sudden you sense that the rescuer doesn't want to help you out. You turn into the persecutor. And that is the judger, you could say. That is the one that shouts at you, and you should do this and you should do that. You know, the finger and the shoulds. You should do this, you should do that. Everything is wrong about you. So the persecutor is also in that role feeling superior, you could say. But of course, they all have the same pain. So all three parties have the same pain. It's a lack of confidence. It's a lack of healthy confidence. It's a lack of feeling powerful, feeling strong, and fear and all of that. So it's an inflicted mass, but you could also say it's when you look at the planets, you could say it's Pluto and Saturn wrongly used, you could say. And also Neptune. Why? You can apply Neptune. People will have, I forgot to explain a bit further the persecutor. So the persecutor is also someone who thinks I'm better than you, and you are, there's everything wrong with you there. And the persecutor is actually doing that because he doesn't feel powerful either, actually. And but there's a good thing underneath it, which is assertiveness. And so not the arrogance, but assertiveness and putting your boundaries. So there is all a good thing underneath these roles. So the persecutor can be someone who's assertive, someone who says, look, and who is not blaming all the time other people, but also he or she being the part of the taking responsibility, you could say, for a situation. And but underneath the persecutor is definitely someone who has a lot of energy and who can, because of that, be assertive and change a lot, you know. The victim, you could say the treasure there underneath is the vulnerability. And I know a lot of people say vulnerability is not good, but I mean vulnerability in relationships, in a personal relationship, is necessary, because if not, where is the intimacy? I don't think there is any intimacy if you cannot show your vulnerability. And if there's no intimacy, there's definitely no love there. Again, there's definitely no love when there's no intimacy. So you're very isolated there. So all these three positions are actually putting people into isolation. The persecutor is very isolated, the victim is, and so is the rescuer. So because especially the rescuer and the persecutor are people who are not looking at their own needs and feelings. So therefore, they look for a victim so they can be busy with needs of other people. So that these are things that when you are aware of these roles, give an enormous richness to get out of these roles. And I'm talking about, for instance, clients who come to me and who are really very stuck in one role. And it doesn't always have to be love relationships. It can be a lot of relationships at work are in that position as well. Someone can really explain. Lately was explaining a situation. She was a rescuer. She didn't even know. She had to do everything at work, you know, and blah blah blah, and she's not doing anything. But do you let her the work? Do you trust to let her do a little bit of work. No, there's the key. And with explanation of these kind of negative roles that we or that a lot of us do play every now and then, you can have an awareness, and an awareness about your own Mars. And it comes up a lot lately in conversations with clients, and I think it has to do with this Mars going retrograde and people really reviewing their actions. So what we can do is, first of all, I think, so this is not like a magical tool, it's some tool that I heritated from long time ago in working in a big corporation, but it's one of the best tools. It's not if you explore it a little bit further and make it a bit of your own tool. I work a lot with it indirectly without even knowing it with clients, because of course as an astrologer you can say this and that is happening, but I put a lot of responsibility on my clients. You know, I'm not gonna play the savior. They have to work on themselves, and it's a 50% consciousness, I think, and a 50% hard work, and that's what astrology is all about. So yeah, but it can be very wide. It can be very an aha moment, if you like. I'm really talking in terms of a company, don't I? Aha moments, win-win situations. I hated those words, actually. Now, anyway, this is certainly not a win-win situation. It's a lose-lose situation if you're in one of these three roles. And so get out of there. So are you playing maybe with this specific person having one of these three toxic roles that you do? And you can do something about it, absolutely, by being aware of it, in which role you are, and understanding why you're in that role. As I said, it has to do with lower confidence. It has to do with, it has to do maybe with your upbringing. You can name it, maybe with a former life, whatever, you can name it whatever you want, but it's how we deal with it now. And how, you know, Jupiter is in Virgo now. And Jupiter in Virgo is about, Jupiter is the one that sees, that is giving a bigger picture. But Virgo is saying you need to work on that in a practical way, and not skipping one step to make it work. So and it gives people their power back when they, of course, they have to be ready to see that. But most, as I said, most people who come to me are ready to see that. But some of them are not really keen on it and get a bit angry because of that. But that's fine. I suppose that's something. You know, it's always good to see and to learn, and but it's definitely something that Mars is all about strength and courage. These are the good sides of Mars. So and whilst it's going to go into Scorpio, which will be at the end of the month, as I said, we are going to dig a little bit deeper about what is our motive in this relationship, you know, or in a relationship, but even with your children, for instance, you can have a rescuer victim role that you are playing. It really is interesting. I've learned a lot from that, and still, sometimes I need to think, like with my son, for instance, do I want to rescue him now? I have to deliberately, and when you are conscious of it, you still have a choice. You still have a choice. Will I stay into this drama, or are you gonna get out of it? And having said that, I wish you a very good day, or an evening, or a night, if you're watching this during night time. Wishing you all the best, and I hope you see where the drama is, and I hope you can do something about it. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.